everyone. Welcome to the British Nuclear Medicine Society Spring Meeting 2024 in Belfast. The organising committee checking all was in place before the conference. We kick-started on Sunday with the PIE Conference Members event. We had some food and drinks in the Dark Horse, one of Belfast's famous pubs. Before we finished the event, we had the opportunity to ask some questions to Professor Joe O'Sullivan.
Hi, my name is Joe O'Sullivan. I'm Professor of Radiation Oncology here at Queen's University Belfast and a consultant oncologist at the Northern Ireland Cancer Centre.
Thank you. And you're kickstarting the BNMS. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm really proud that the BNMS Spring Meeting has come here to Belfast, and I'm delighted to be speaking at the welcome event here in the Dark Horse in Belfast.
So Joe, what do you think is the most challenging part of clinical trials?
One of the most difficult parts is really getting the money together, because it can be so challenging, especially if you've got a pharmaceutical product. It can be very difficult to actually get the money to do the study. So in the studies I've been doing, that's been the hardest part. I think I've got a little bit better at doing it over the years, but that's definitely the most challenging part, no question. And these things are very expensive nowadays.
Thank you. So in your presentation, thank you, it was really good.
Yeah.
You mentioned the outcomes and the quality of life for patients.
Yeah.
Why is that important?
Well, I think outcomes from radionuclide therapy, and especially in prostate cancer, which is my area, radium-223 and now lutetium-177 have both shown survival benefit for patients who are in the advanced state of the disease. But as well as improving their survival and delaying the time to progression, it's also extremely well tolerated, at least compared to chemotherapy, which is the other option. So for me, I like the idea of improving my patients' lives without making them unwell. And I think that's where radionuclides really come in.
So you talked about team effort a lot, and you presented a lot of your team members and your collaborations, which is great to see. Regarding molecular radiotherapy, why is it important to have a multidisciplinary approach? Yeah,
I think nuclear medicine is one area where the multidisciplinary team is most important in cancer care, because you need very specific expertise. Of course, you need your physicists, your nuclear medicine physicians, your technologists, your radiopharmacy, but you also need to collaborate with oncology and radiology. So I think it's one where if the patient is at the center of the decision and center of how things are done, I think the patients really understand the idea of this team that's working on their behalf. And when I think about, especially doing research in nuclear medicine area, you absolutely need the expertise of all these groups. Oncologists definitely don't have it on their own. And actually, it's one of the real joys of working in cancer is the team. I love going to work and meeting the people who can bring something else to what I'm doing and who can add that information that I can't bring or bring the expertise that I can't bring. And it's way more fun doing group science.
So you talked about your work in regards to radium and also now with PSMA.
Yeah.
What do you think is the future of these therapies at the moment?
Yeah, so I think we've got now two survival prolonging radioligand therapies, radium-223, which was the first one, now Pluvicto or PSMA, lutetium PSMA 617. I think clearly the targeting PSMA molecule is much more precise in terms of treating prostate cancer as well as imaging and therapy. However, I do think there's still a place for radium. It's way cheaper. Many men who are having prostate cancer, who die from prostate cancer, will be bone-dominant disease, and radium helps those guys a lot. Pain control, survival, delay time to progression, and also the good thing about radium is it's available now. I think a lot of these new therapies are being priced out of the market right this very moment. So I think absolutely for the moment, radium-223 still has a place. But of course, we're really excited about the idea of more specific targeting for both imaging and therapy. I think the PSMA story is the start. I think there are many more cell surface targets which will be explored over the next decade or so, and we're going to see some amazing responses, especially with the alpha emitters.
Can you talk about any future plans, any future work that you're developing?
Yep. Yeah, so right now I'm really excited about an extension of the ADRAD trial. This was using radium-223 in metastatic home and sensitive prostate cancer. Some of the translational research around that, especially around whole body MRI assessment of response, as well as DNA damage assay, which is looking at circulating lymphocytes, identifying the amount of DNA damage that's there, and that's been correlated with outcome, both efficacy and toxicity. So we're really excited to be developing these ways, which hopefully can help us understand who benefits most from these therapies, so we can persist with the patients who are benefiting and stop with the patients who are not.
And just one last question.
Yeah.
How do you cope with patient survival rates after spending so much time with them?
Yeah, it can be very difficult. The way I practice oncology, I get to know my patients well, and of course it can be tough when they ultimately die from their cancer. I think what I've found over the years is to have an open and honest relationship helps a lot. But for sure, there have been times when I've been very emotional, especially some patients who I've looked after for maybe almost 20 years. Yeah, of course it's going to be emotional. But again, that's where the team comes in, and the team can support both the patient and also the staff. I think we have to recognize that staff can be affected emotionally. I think we have to have space for people to appreciate that, and also I think that the team to support each other to get through those things. But for sure, it's one of the most difficult things. It's what motivates us. But having spoken to the bereaved families after patients have passed, they so appreciate the open lines of communication and the positivity. So hope we're doing a good job. But yeah, it's tough. It's a tough part of the job.
And lastly, can I ask any recommendations for Belfast for people staying over?
Yeah, well, we're in the right part of town here. This is Cathedral Quarter. This is where the buzz happens. It's a beautiful part of town, especially this particular streets here. There'll be lots of good music tonight, and the other places to visit would be the Titanic Museum, and pop in and see Queen's University where I work. It's beautiful.
Thank you.